the Comedy Crossword Podcast.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of One Down, the Comedy Crossword Podcast. I'm Brendan Eyre. I'm here with Greg Warren. Thanks for joining us again. Greg, what's going on, man?
Brendan, I'm going to get right to it, okay? I'm going to get right to the issue of the day. I got killed this week, okay? I couldn't get the Tuesday. I don't think I've missed a Tuesday in a year. I couldn't get the Tuesday. So then I turned around and missed a Wednesday, okay? So I'm 1 out of 3 out of the gate, okay? I get the Thursday and then get shut out Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You know, I'm saying this up front because if you want to kick me off the podcast, you have every right in this case.
I just want to, when you say you couldn't get the Tuesday, you mean like it took you longer, right? Or,
No, I didn't get it. Like I didn't complete the Tuesday.
Oh, like you didn't understand the theme.
No, well, that might have been the case. That's usually the case. But no, Brendan, what I'm trying to tell you and make it very difficult is I did not complete the Tuesday to our specifications. I mean, I had to hit the reveal without having completed it.
Greg, let me ask you a question. Do you understand you are a professional crossword puzzle podcast host?
Yes, I get it, man.
Okay.
I mean, and you're just making things worse. You think I feel good about this?
Well, here's the thing. I think I misspoke. You were a professional crossword puzzle
That's
host.
the thing. I'm traveling for the first time in months. So if you want to kick me off, do it now.
That's what happened.
So
the traveling stopped you on a Tuesday.
I didn't say that. No, you're misunderstanding. I'm just saying if you want to kick me off the podcast, don't do it at the end of the episode. Do it at the beginning.
Well, okay? I can't kick you off. You're the only person dumb enough to do a crossword puzzle podcast with me. But this is bad, man, because we already got this huge gigantic group of people that refer to you as Wednesday Warren.
There's not that many people that say
and now it's going to become Old Tuesday Greg, and it's just these message boards are blowing up already. I can feel
they're not.
They are.
You always talk about these message boards, and I don't think they exist.
You're not on the same web I'm on. Okay, this a Tuesday Wednesday miss. So you went 2 for 7.
Yes, I went 2 for 7, man. I got Monday and Thursday.
2 for 7, Greg. I like you as a person, but as a co-host, I'm furious right now. We have a certain level of expectation these people demand of us.
I know. Can you at least admit that the Tuesday was no Tuesday, man?
I can admit this. I can admit that I did it in 12 minutes and 5 seconds. That's what I can admit.
Well, I mean, let me take a look at some numbers here, okay? I just want to check something out here. I spent 46 minutes and 31 seconds not getting it, okay?
Well, I will admit, I will give you this. It was there. I happened to luck out, and I knew a few things, but there were some non-Tuesday clues in there. I'll give you that. There were some.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
There were some definite non-Tuesday clues, but
did you go 7 for 7 again?
I went 7 for 7. Yeah, I'm. I think we're establishing a pattern where you do the heavy lifting in terms of the jokes and the sanity, and I'm the guy really pulling the weight crossword wise.
I think this is your way of saying I have to deliver on this podcast with the jokes. You're coming with nothing because you did well.
Well, you got to bring something to the table, right?
You're right. You're right.
I'm bringing our credibility. And you better bring something other than that, because you're certainly not bringing credibility with a 2 for 7. That's not even a good batting average.
I know, man. I feel terrible about it.
Well,
embarrassed.
I'd like you to feel worse, frankly. I would like you to feel worse. Greg and I we're on the road for the first time, man. I'm in Oklahoma. He's in Myrtle Beach, and man, I miss Myrtle Beach, man. We usually go there together. Did you get some go-karting in?
Yeah, man. I rode every night, and I did 6 races on Friday.
Now, let me tell
Thursday. Thursday, I did 6 races.
6 races. That's nice. Now, I want the listeners to understand something that's very important. Greg does not respect the rules of a go-kart track, okay? That guy has been kicked off.
I will push the edge.
Yeah, he has been kicked off go-kart tracks in 37 states.
Absolutely, man.
Did you have any problems this time around?
Yeah. I mean, we got singled out real early in the week, and then we never got kicked off, but we got stern warnings. We got that thing where like they give the lecture to everybody, like a very stern lecture before the race, but they were staring at me and lecture.
Sure. Yeah.
And then he did say, he goes like 3 times. He was like, "Hey man, I remember you from last night. You can't do that stuff again here, or I'm gonna have to throw you out."
They talk big, but their problem is that they're 12 years old. So it's
the thing is they had an adult running at this time, man. So he was pretty stern. He was a really nice. That was the thing. I didn't like not push the edge towards the end because I was afraid. It was more out of respect. This guy, he was so nice. I just felt like a jerk, man. But you got to have some fun up there, right?
I mean, it's not. Listen, you're there to put people into walls, okay?
You are.
Spin them out,
Yeah.
put them into walls. If I wanted real racing, I'd go to one of those places you got to wear a helmet. If I'm just at a family fun time amusement park, I'm smashing people. Okay, I'm smashing people. I'm spinning them out. I'm every dirty trick in the book. Okay, and then I'm yelling at when I'm there with you. I yell at the guy that you're smashing people. I tattle.
Yeah, no, you're a rat.
Yeah. No, I'm a rat thing.
Yeah,
I say this guy tried to smash me.
Yeah, you're always telling. And you're not even about the smashing much. You just want to win. You get, if you happen to have the car 3 ahead of me, we don't see you. Whereas if I'm 3 ahead of you, I'll slow down so we can have a real race.
Well, here's the thing. I don't. First of all, I've never had the front car, and I don't. It's not that I want to win, Greg. It's that I do win every single time. Okay, I'm undefeated on that Myrtle Beach go-kart track.
That's not true.
That's a fact. That is a fact.
True.
Yes, it is. Except one time I got the slow car, and that that thing needed maintenance. But let's get into Monday.
Yeah, let's do Monday because it's one of the only 2 that I got.
June 15th. This was an Olivia Mitra Frankie. The theme was au pairs, like nannies, but it was a little play on words because it was au pairs. In other words that had 2 different double O's. So Scooby-Doo, Google Doodle, Bamboo Shoots, Foolproof, kind of your classic Monday theme, I would say.
Right. I'm not going to say that I was aware of it.
Nope, you missed it totally.
Yeah, I didn't. I got the puzzle though. So yeah, I did get the Monday. 17 across. Mystery solving Great Dane in cartoons. That's as you mentioned, Scooby-Doo. I got to be honest, Brendan. Until this moment, did not realize he was a Great Dane.
Well, here's the problem. I knew that. I don't know why I knew that, but he doesn't. That's a rare color for a Great Dane. Great Danes are usually like speckled or gray, and Scooby-Doo is brown. So it's not your normal Great Dane color. So I think a lot of people are thrown off on what breed Scooby-Doo is.
Yeah, man. I mean, I didn't think he was any specific breed. I just thought he was a dog. It's not like I thought he was a beagle or a poodle or something,
right.
But I didn't know. And Marmaduke, on the other hand, I knew he was a Great Dane.
Yeah, well, everyone knows Marmaduke's a Great Dane because there's a lot of fantastic plays on Marmaduke's oversized antics. You know what I mean? He's just
Oh yeah, he bumps into a lot. Whereas Scooby Doo is pretty agile for a Great Dane, right?
he is agile until he gets into those Scooby snacks with Shaggy. You know, that's the thing. Shaggy, everyone knows his breed, and it's dirty hippie. Is what it is. And I don't know how he got hooked up with Freddie and Velma, because that's just a crew that wouldn't hang out together, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mention this on the podcast one time? It's one of those, my 30s, early 30s, and I think 20s. I can't remember, but you're at bars a lot after shows, and some girl said that I look like Fred from Scooby Doo. That I reminded her of Fred from Scooby Doo.
That's it. She was hitting on you, man. Fred.
No, it did. It worked to my advantage. I think she liked Fred.
Yeah, for sure. Fred's the handsome guy. Now he does wear an ascot.
No, I was wearing an ascot. That night.
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. I want to do this, Greg. And now we're both trained actors. You far more than me. I've had some classes. I
just said I was wearing an ascot. Of course, I'm a trained actor.
Yeah. Now 9 Across audibly expresses shock. That's gasps. Okay?
Yeah.
And I want to challenge you to a gasp contest right now. That's yours?
Yeah.
How about this? Okay, hold on.
I mean, I would say you need to take it up more.
Take it up more from there?
Yeah.
All right, I'll try.
That was not a gasp. That was a shriek. Okay,
it was a gasp leading into a shriek. That
was a female shriek.
Okay, hold on. This is pure gasp. Was that
was? I mean, this is all. If we're going into acting, you didn't mention that we were doing voiceover for cartoons, so mine's a little more subtle.
Yeah,
you know?
Well, you're
mine's our drama type stuff,
right? You're a television actor. You're a guy that actually gets roles.
No,
I'm more of a dinner theater type guy. You know, I do the murder mystery on a cruise.
Oh yeah, gotcha. 15 Across, like a billionaire. The answer is rich. And Brendan, that is the Monday clue of the week. That's the Monday clue of the week right there.
Not only do I fully agree, let me tell our listeners something. You want to talk about commitment? Sure, the guy went 2 for 7, but that could happen to anyone.
Right.
This man is on the road doing stand-up comedy, and he brought his bicycle horn with him.
I brought the horn. Of course I brought the horn.
That is what you call commitment to a podcast. So I don't want to hear, you know what, Greg? I won't bring up the 2 for 7 again. And
you will.
And when I hear these guys calling you Old Tuesday Greg, I'm gonna stand up for you, and I'm gonna say, sure, he's an Old Tuesday Greg, but he brings his stuff. You know, he shows up when he's needed, and that means everything.
Boy, thanks, Brendan.
Yeah, no problem. 12 down, group of experts. That's a panel. I've been on some panels, Greg.
Yeah.
And it was usually a group of experts and one idiot trying to make jokes. And that was me. I once was on Red Eye on Fox News and made a joke that caused Meghan McCain to never speak to me ever again. Not that she was probably going to after the green room, but even in the green room, she had quite the disdain for me
Didn't care for the joke, huh? You want to tell us what the joke was?
No, it's not exactly. Okay. They were doing a Red Eye on Fox News was a strange program because it was not really in line with Fox News's normal programming. It was a a bit of a comedy show. You've done Red Eye, right, Craig?
I did do it. Yeah, really. It was actually kind of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just pretty fun, and they did a piece. They did a segment on these realistic looking female dolls, life-size dolls that men could buy. Yeah. And I said that it looked like Terry Schiavo, and it got big laughs, but not from Meghan McCain.
I don't think I'm going to talk to you.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I'm in complete solidarity with Meghan McCain.
Yeah, a lot of people watching were too, judging from the Twitter responses. Tasteless is what many people said, and I
Completely.
said, you know what, the doll is tasteless. So that's what I was.
Hey, let's go
at.
back to the part where you said you weren't going to say the joke.
Well, I wasn't, and you insisted, and I did it.
No, I did not insist. I go, hey, can you tell the joke? You go, no, it's not really appropriate for the podcast, but here's the joke.
Well, I did it in the most appropriate way I could with leaving out any of the offensive parts.
Yeah, wait a minute. You thought the offensive part of that joke was saying the word sex doll?
Yes, I did.
No, that's not it. No,
I did.
It's the latter part, Brendan.
Is
it's
that,
the latter.
Is that so?
Yeah,
thought
it's the latter.
If I didn't say the word, it would be okay.
No. No. I mean, I prefer we didn't, have a lot of sex doll talk on this podcast.
As would I.
We're going. Yeah, but you have some real errors in judgment, man. That wasn't the bad part of that joke. That's not why Meghan McCain hates you.
Like I said, we need one guy that can do the puzzles and one guy with some integrity. Okay, and that's what you are, and I'm the other guy, and it's a problem. Let's move on to Tuesday.
No, I got some stuff on Monday.
Okay,
I really want to sit on Monday.
Yeah, sit on the only one you completed.
The only one I got. 20 Across, where Gangnam Style video was filmed. That's Seoul. Gangnam Style, you remember that?
Oh, yeah, that was a big-time hit.
Now, I want to go back to the genesis of this podcast when we were coming up with names, and I served up a name and got shot down. I still think it might have taken this thing over the top. Do you remember what that name was?
No.
It was Open Crossword Style. Do you remember that?
Can we change it now? Is it too late?
No, we
ladies
can't.
And gentlemen, welcome
you
to
said no.
Crossword Style.
It's not Oopum, it's Oopum Crossword Style.
Oopum Crossword Style.
It's not Oopum.
I'm saying what you're saying, Greg.
Oopum Crossword Style.
Crossword Style. 44 down, the third W in WWW. That's web, and that's easy. Everyone knows when you go on the internet, it's Wayne Watkins Webb. The guy who invented it.
Is that true?
Yep. It's Wayne Watkins, guy out of French Lick, Indiana. Came up with the internet.
French Lick, Indiana.
Yeah, French Lick came up with the internet. It's been co-opted over the years to be World Wide Web, but us true users know it's Wayne Watkins Web. He runs it out of his basement. It's a pretty big deal. He does it for free, really. He still has a job at the Dairy Queen, so it's a thank you, Wayne.
Tuesday. Let's do Tuesday.
June 16th. This was an Alex Eaton Saunders. He busted Greg out on this one. Now, I'm saying, Greg, off.
I hate Saunders after this. I hate him so much.
I'm telling you this off the bat. There's an asterisk on this thing because the theme was gray areas, right? And they had four gray squares throughout the crossword puzzle, and in those squares were inch, foot, yard, and mile. And I would tell you this right now, those aren't areas. Those are distances. Areas are acre, square foot, square yard. Those are not areas.
Hey, Brendan, what shape are those gray boxes in a?
Square inch, square foot, square yard, square. Yep. I rescind everything I have said, going all the way back through the Wayne Watkins joke, all the way to the Meghan McCain story. All of that
You're not going to take back the Meghan McCain story.
No, it's strucken from the record. All of that is strucken from the record. This is the only time, Greg, the only time, and you know what? This makes up for a lot of your performance this week, and I won't bring it up again. I tell this 2 for 7. I'll never bring it up again.
Hey, real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Before you get to your point, this is a word podcast. Are you sure it's not stricken from the record?
What did I say?
Strucken?
Yeah, I don't know. What you said struck me as right, so I think you might be correct. But this is, I'll say it. It's a momentous occasion. You've caught me out on the theme. I don't know that that's happened before. I stand down. I submit to you, Greg. I was wrong. I removed the asterisks from this puzzle. I apologize.
I wish there would be an asterisk because I got nailed by. I hate Alex Eaton Saunders now. I don't like the notorious AES. I don't like him anymore, man. I used to be a big supporter of Saunders. I got like Iron Cross to death, but like a quadruple Iron Cross to death. I don't know what an iguanodon is. I don't know what that is.
It's a dinosaur.
Yeah, I knew it was a dinosaur, but I couldn't get it. And then I guess the thing that really, I didn't know what I should have got that the Brits, part of a meal that the British call afters is dessert. I should have known that. What?
Yeah.
I should have known that. And then here's the word that has taken me down 90 times on a crossword puzzle. Like I always get beat on elegy, verse of lament, elegy.
Yeah.
I don't know what that word means. I am not going to get beat on elegy again. I'm going to have my eye open for elegy. I will say verse of lament, okay? And I had a Y in there somewhere. It looked like oy vey fit.
That's a short verse, but yes, that works.
Is oy vey not a verse of lament?
It's more of a phrase of lament, but yeah, sure. It's I guess a verse. It's a short verse.
Now, I don't think I don't know how oy vey is spelled, but I think it didn't fit if you spelled it right. But I was like, man, I don't know if they're spelling oy vey right, but I'm going to go with them. Well, it's not oy vey.
Can I teach you a memory trick?
Sure.
Do you know what the speech is at a funeral?
It's I've given a lot of them.
Do you know?
It sounds like elegy, but it's not.
Yes, it's eulogy. So
eulogy.
Never mind. The memory trick's not going to work because you don't remember eulogy. But eulogy derives from elegy or vice versa. So that's how I always remember elegy because it's.
What's your name?
Brendan.
Okay.
Eyre, as in Jane.
Okay. All right. Good memory trick. And then I don't know. I guess this is a good clue, but gives a boost. Gooses.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that because I'll tell you that is not really the primary usage of goose. Like when you goose someone, you pinch their butt or whatever, like goosing to get someone going. That's sort of a antiquated phrase.
It works. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, technically it's right. And then I don't know. I mean, I got really messed up. I don't know who the Archangel in Paradise Lost is. I don't know what Paradise Lost is.
Oh, it's a epic book that is cited as one of the greatest books of all time. It doesn't really make any sense as far as I can tell. But
did you read it?
What I started it. It seemed to be very confusing, so I moved on. But it's
Uriel, and who is Uriel? And
he's an angel. He's a
an
fallen angel, I think.
I think he was in The Little Mermaid too, from what I remember.
That's Ariel, Greg. That is Ariel. Under the sea, it's always better down where it's wetter. Under the sea. That is great.
11 down, Hawaii's Forbidden Isle. That's Ni Hao. Do you know much about Ni Hao, Brendan?
No, please tell me.
So Ni Hao is this island. There's some interesting stuff about it. I believe it's called Forbidden because I think there was a polio outbreak there for a while. It's owned by the Robinson family now, and the only people that you can go on it are members of the Robinson family, are some of the original tribe, and then the Navy, I think, is allowed to go on there. But when Pearl Harbor happened, that was the destination for Japanese fighter pilots. They were supposed to land there if they had mechanical trouble or whatever. So this fighter pilot landed there, and they sort of treated him like a king until like there was a couple Japanese speaking people on the island, and they sort of figured out what he was there for. They heard about Pearl Harbor. I think there wasn't radios. I think there's not electricity there, but there was battery powered radio, and so somebody heard about Pearl Harbor, and they figured out what he was doing there, and then there was a big standoff, and there was they eventually killed him, but there was two Japanese members of the Ni Hao Island, or residents of the Ni Hao Island, who sort of sided with their countrymen. And there was a big standoff. Yeah. That's
interesting. It's a tough spot to be in when you're getting treated like a king, and you kind of got to go around and be like, "Hey, are there any radios or anything here? You guys get TV?" I'm not no reason. I'm not asking for any reason, but like, what's the news situation on Ni Hao Island is basically what I'm getting at. If you guys hear about anything, I wasn't involved in it. I'm a more of a just kind of a tourist type fighter jet pilot. That's interesting. Now this Robinson family, were they Swiss?
No, I don't think those were those people. This was actually, as you know, David Robinson played for
it was
Navy.
Them. Yes, it was them. I get it.
There's a lot of Navy personnel
Admiral
down there. And, the Admiral. There's a lot of Navy personnel, of course, in the Hawaiian Islands. So I think it's David Robinson and his family.
Now, 9 Across, company behind the Veg-O-Matic. That's, of course, Ronco. The great Ron Popeil, one of the premier inventors of our time, Greg. Obviously best known for the Showtime rotisserie and barbecue. Set it and forget it. Those things sold 8 million units in the U.S. alone. He also he coined the phrase, "But wait, there's more."
Really?
Yes. Ron Popeil. Before that, nobody knew how to add more to a sentence. Ron Popeil invented, "But wait, there's more."
What's his number one selling item?
The rotisserie, the Showtime rotisserie and barbecue, where he would say, "Set it," and then the infomercial audience would yell in unison, "And forget it." Which I would say set it and forget it, but then eventually remember it, because you're going to want to eat whatever's in there.
Yeah, you want to eat, right? You're going to have a real dried out turkey.
Yeah.
That, in fact, I believe that's how jerky was invented.
Yeah.
Was they set it and they forgot it, and then 3 months later they had beef jerky.
Yeah, the not the Veg-O-Matic, but I think the Chop-O-Matic. The phrase was, "Slices of tomatoes so thin there's only one side," which is physically impossible, but a great selling line. Now, Ron, he's 85, Greg. He's retired, but he hasn't stopped working, according to Wikipedia. He's for 10 years, he's been working on a 5-in-1 turkey fryer and food cooking system. Okay, for the last 10 years, nobody knows what he's just locked up in his laboratory, revolutionizing the way we cook turkeys and food, apparently.
I think that's a noble cause, really, because if you remember those, several years ago, I think it happens even now around Thanksgiving every year. A lot of hillbillies wind up in the hospital because those they put frozen turkeys in the deep fryer and it explodes and there's a fire and they have to go to the ER.
There are over 178,000 deep fried turkey deaths every single Thanksgiving in the United States. Yes, it is. Those are the stats. And it is.
That's true?
Yes, it is the most dangerous thing you can do is to deep fry. Some people say, well, I've climbed Mount Everest, and you can counter that with I've deep fried a turkey, my friend. So
178,000.
Roughly, ballpark. I don't remember the exact figures.
It just went from exactly to a ballpark. Yep. This is usually when Brendan's lying.
Yeah, a lot of statistics I just know inherently. It's like
I gotcha.
I don't need the figures to know. I have a feel for this country. You know what I mean, Greg? I kind of know what's going on. Now 30 across, pull up as a sail. That's furl, right? And
yeah,
man, that's why I hate sailing. I hate sailing because you know how it goes. When everyone's on board, everyone's having a great time when it's time to unfurl the sails. You know, everyone's willing to help with that.
Oh, let's unfurl. Hey, it's time to unfurl.
Yeah, I'll come on up out of the cabin. We're unfurling. But then the wind dies down. You got to furl them back up, and you're nobody's to be found. You're there by yourself. So the sails.
You don't find a lot of furlers.
No, you don't. You got to furl on your own. It's the way because it's not fun. Nobody likes to furl. You unfurl, all you got to do is pull a string. It's like a magic trick.
Yeah, man. You get one of those speedboats. You don't have to furl anything.
No.
Or unfurl.
No furling, unfurling, nothing. Just pure cruising. 39 down. Part of a hearing aid. That's earpiece. Greg, I would
think that would be the hearing aid.
Yeah, I would argue that is by far the most important part. The nose piece, I find almost completely useless.
I think they're just trying to put on extra paraphernalia and charge you more for that nose piece. That's
the thing. They outfitted my grandfather with a knee band on his hearing aid. I said they got you, Pops. I think they took you on that one. And he said, what? What'd you say? Talk into my knee.
Hey, the same guy that sold your grandpa that hearing aid with the knee piece, is that the same guy that sold you that car where the air conditioner doesn't work?
I don't like when you bring that up. My air conditioner does work.
It does not.
Man, how much money I've spent trying to have that air conditioner
just
fixed,
get
Greg?
A new car.
It
doesn't work.
What do you mean,
it's never
get a new
work.
car? You think I'm rich? I'm not getting a new car. I roll down the windows. It works sometimes. It seems to come in and out. Okay?
It doesn't work any of the times. I'll tell you, I had to ride from New York to Myrtle Beach with you, and it didn't work. It didn't work for like 10 of the hours.
Sweating is good for you. It cleans your pores out, man. Yeah, look, do I want a car with working air conditioning? Yeah, Greg, I would love one, but it's not in the cards for me. Okay, I'm just a hot driver, is what I am. It's just how it's got to be.
We're gonna get you one sooner or later. That's what we're gonna. That's the aim of this podcast is get you a car with air conditioning.
I'd love it. I'd love that. Wednesday, June 17th. This was a Daniel Rainin. Kind of a weird theme, I thought. It was in 53 Across, they said 1989 Best Picture nominee with a hint to, and then they listed some answers. The answer to 53 Across was Field of Dreams, and then what that was apparently a hint to was Blankets of Snow, or Blanket of Snow, Sheet of Ice, and Bed of Roses. That's not that connected. You're saying the hint is just a thing of and then another thing?
Yeah, no, that was the whole thing. It's a load of garbage is what this puzzle is.
Yeah. And then Field of Dreams, Greg. Great movie, but in hindsight, very odd. Are you a Field of Dreams fan?
I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I liked it.
They could have called that movie Ghost Baseball, and it would have been seen as sort of a comedy, because it's pretty crazy what's happening in Field of Dreams, where a farmer is willing to just mow down half his crops to build a baseball field to meet Shoeless Joe Jackson, the ghost of Shoeless Joe Jackson, because his father was a baseball fan and him and his father are estranged. Quite the plot.
It's a pretty good synopsis, Brendan.
It's pretty much what happened, right? You just had the about 8 members of the Chicago Black Sox, who, by the way, those guys. For those of you that aren't sports people, the Chicago Black Sox, they threw the 1919 World Series. They were paid off by, I believe, Arnold Rothstein, the famous gambler and gangster. Those guys were right, Greg. I don't know if you know the story behind that. I think it was Wrigley at the time owned the White Sox, which is weird because the Cubs play at Wrigley Field. I could be wrong, but I think Wrigley owned the White Sox. They were the best team in baseball by far, and he wouldn't pay them. He paid them like about a quarter of what everyone else in the league was making, and was just a jerk and mistreated players. And so basically Rothstein knew about that. And, back then professional athletes weren't making a lot of money. And Rothstein just said, hey, you guys want to get paid what you're worth? Lose the World Series. And they did it. And I don't blame them, really, if old man Wrigley was treating them that way.
Man, I didn't know that end of it.
Yeah, that's the end people don't know. People say, oh, these dirty cheaters, these sellouts, but it's like they were getting screwed over. They wouldn't have done that. They would not have done that if it weren't. They felt very mistreated by their team. They were the best team in baseball by far, and they were not getting paid like it. And they basically decided, you know what, we're going to get paid from old man Rothstein.
Now, did you learn that from the movie 8 Men Out, or did you read a book or do some Wikipedian? What did you do?
I actually learned that from a mafia podcast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I learned that from a podcast about Rothstein, who was just basically fixed gambling everywhere he went. He never lost. He just fixed everything. Those are in the good old days where everyone was for sale. You know what I mean? You could buy off a cop, anyone you wanted.
44 down, flips out. Has a cow, which I think is really insensitive to cows during the birthing process. That phrase.
Yeah, you're right. So essentially they're saying the mother cow is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she's having a child. Yeah.
Yeah, of course she's going to make some strange noises. She's giving birth to a cow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I never thought of it that way, and now I'm furious.
It's a stand that I'm going to take, and it's important work. And from here forward, I hope you'll join me, Brendan. Let's Let's put an end to that.
Well, I'm not going to put it into it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to repurpose it. When someone does something courageous, when someone goes through an ordeal and comes out the other end a better person, I'm going to say, you really had a cow there, man.
You're saying a guy like me who gets beat on a Tuesday, takes the beating of his life on a Tuesday, know that he's going to be ridiculed by his partner and friend in public, and then takes another beating on Wednesday. I mean, gives a fine effort on the puzzle, but still takes a beating, then comes back on Thursday and has the fortitude to just hang in there and complete the puzzle. You're saying that I had a cow Thursday.
I was more thinking of like, Gertrude Esterly or someone like Ederly or someone like that. A hero. Yeah.
Somebody who's the woman that swam the English Channel?
Yeah, I wasn't thinking of old Tuesday Greg. I mean, I guess you had a cow on Thursday, but normally I know this is new, this repurposing.
Hey Brendan, if the point you're making is that Gertrude Ederl was braver and had bigger accomplishments than I did, you're right. Okay, I'm the biggest Gertrude Ederly or Eder. I'd like to learn to say her name. I should, since I'm her biggest fan. But I didn't ask for a ticker tape parade. I did not ask for the first ticker tape parade for a woman in history. I just asked for my friend to say that I had a cow on Thursday.
Greg, you had a cow on Thursday. You did.
Thanks,
and
man.
These people just, there's already a guy out in the street in front of the comedy condo here in Oklahoma City going, is that old Tuesday Greg on the phone? And I'm going, how did you hear about this already? Shit, that's not, he had a cow on Thursday, man. Get out of here. I'm saying get out of here to this guy, Greg. It's ridiculous.
I didn't realize we had that many fans in OKC. That's good news.
Yeah, it is good news. This was bogus. 57 down. Sound of a lightning bolt. Zap. No, it's not. There's no sound. The sound of a lightning bolt is thunder, right? Does a lightning bolt ever make a zap?
I think it might, man.
Like if you get hit by it?
Strikes something, yeah, I think there's noise.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. If it hits something,
in the cartoons there is. I mean, if it strikes one of those electric boxes, there's a noise. I know what you're saying.
Right.
Lightning is generally,
thunder.
It's silent. It's the thunder that you hear. But I think there is. I'm sorry, man, to be disagreeing with you so much on this.
There's a guy, Guinness Book of World Record. Probably not the record you want the most, and I might have the number wrong because it's a long time ago when I read it. But most times struck by lightning, 8. One guy's been hit by lightning 8 times.
He was trying though, right?
No, he just happened to be a park ranger, and he worked kind of high altitude. So, but I think after about like 4, you're trying. You're going for once you've got like 4 and you realize you're not dying, you're going, I might as well milk this thing. You know what I mean? I might as well see if I can get an endorsement from Gatorade.
Oh, they do have a lightning bolt as their logo, right?
I know that was a very subtle joke, and I don't know how many people got it, but thank you.
I'm not sure it was a joke, but it was. I think you pointed out something really interesting. I appreciate it. I really did.
Do you know how Gatorade got its name, by the way?
Yeah, there was a guy down in the University of Florida that was giving it to athletes, and that's the nickname for the Florida athletes.
The Florida
is the Gators.
Yep.
Everybody knows that.
I don't think so. You're in the grocery business, so you know that. But you were in the grocery business.
They were a competitor, Gatorade of sorts. We had Hawaiian Punch. We were in, we fought for shelf space in some instances.
Well, listen, man, I don't denigrate your products over at Procter & Gamble. You worked there a long time, and I think Pringles, which was your main area of expertise, I think Pringles are just a phenomenal product. But to say that Hawaiian Punch competes with Gatorade that's outlandish, Greg. That's an outlandish claim. That's ridiculous. That's going to hurt the credibility of the podcast.
Fine.
You disagree? You think Hawaiian Punch and Gatorade are in this even?
Hey man, I can't. You know, the thing is, I worked there in the '90s, Brendan. I can't remember exactly what went down.
Yeah,
okay,
that's true. That's true.
It was a different world back then. I said that sometimes we were up against each other for shelf space. I didn't say we won.
Right. Okay.
I mean, we were in different segments. I will tell you this though, Brendan. Okay, Gatorade does not have all the health properties that it proclaims.
Well, no, particularly there's a lot of sugar in it.
A ton of sugar.
Yeah, it is good for rehydrating you. It's good if you're in the middle of a game, because the sugar gives you an energy boost, and it's got salt in it, so you get the electrolytes. But yeah,
you get the electrolytes. Just take shots at my products, my ex product. Have I ever gone on this podcast and said anything bad about fasteners or your fastener reports? Not once.
No, that's true.
Bearings. Have I said one bad thing about bearings on this podcast?
No. Well, so for those of you that don't know, I used to write industrial research reports about different industrial goods. But you're right, you haven't. And I did preface it by giving heavy compliments to your main product line that you represented, which was Pringles.
Hey, you don't act like you know what my main product line was.
What was your main product line?
We had a lot of different products when I was there. I was in the food beverage division.
What was your main product line?
I had all the food beverage products, Brendan. So you're going to say, don't pretend like you know Pringles, sure, a big growth brand, big brand, but you're going to say it's bigger than Folgers coffee back in the 90s? Probably not.
I'm not saying what Procter & Gamble was
Sunny Delight,
involved
Sunny
in.
Delight, you're saying that wasn't a big thing back then?
God. You were
Fisher Nuts,
you were involved.
Crisco oil, Duncan Hines cake mixes. You want to shut your mouth, Brendan?
No, you're lying because you were the Pringles guy. I know you
No.
were. Yes, you were.
No, we represented all of those products. That Pringles was one of the products. The food beverage sales reps represented a range of products. Pringles was one. Now later on, when I was promoted a couple of times and I was working in the main office, I was doing project work primarily on Pringles. But as a salesman,
the truth comes out.
As an account executive, I sold all of those products. Okay.
Well, now you just brought up another problem. Okay, because I had no idea Sunny D. You were involved with Sunny D. And
involved, I sold so much of it, man. I lived in Texas. I had Houston. The Hispanic people love Sunny Delight, okay? And I had Fiesta Mart as my account. It's a chain of grocery stores in Houston, and the Hispanic population was very loyal to Fiesta Mart, and they were loyal to Sunny Delight.
Well, all right. I'm not going to attack another one of your products. I'll stand down. I stand down.
It's too late, man. It's too late.
Okay, well then let me tell you something, Greg. Those commercials, that kid opening the fridge. We got soda. We got purple stuff. We got Sunny D. You guess what? I'd rather have purple stuff or soda every single time. Purple stuff, that's the best. Soda, great. Who's picking Sunny D? Just worse orange juice. That's what that was. Just fake worse orange juice, Greg.
You're a jerk. You're just a jerk.
You're going to drink Sunny D ahead of purple stuff.
You know what? To be real honest, I didn't really like Sunny D. And the fact that you said the word orange juice anywhere near Sunny D, I'll tell you a quick story, and then we're not going to get through all the puzzles this week.
And who cares? Because you didn't.
Who cares?
You certainly didn't get through all.
Shut up! Just you don't shut up. You said you weren't going to mention it again. Sunny Delight. So back in the day, we had another product called Citrus Hill. It was an orange juice, and it was really good orange juice. Yeah. And a lot of the stuff you see in orange juice today, we pioneered. The 96-ounce plastic jug, the little spout the plastic spout on the side of the carton that you know.
Oh yeah,
that was all us. We pioneered that, but we just I don't think we learned a trademark. We just Minute Maid and Tropicana would copy us, and they just smoked us all the time. But anyways, back in the day, it was a big deal with orange juice futures. So we had this big sales meeting because something was going down with orange juice futures, and we had to take the price of Citrus Hill up. You know, Minute Maid was going up, Tropicana was going up, everybody was going up, and there was this big national sales meeting talking about, hey, futures are here. This is what's going to happen. They were rolling it out, and we got in all this discussion about, well, how much can we give them at the old price and all that stuff. Somebody raised their hand. They go, hey, is this going to affect the price of Sunny Delight at all? The guy goes, yeah, that one orange that we use for all of Sunny Delight is probably...
What's the orange budget on Sunny Delight? One per year. 1 million? No, one orange. One orange, man. It's 72 cents.
I don't know. Technically, it contains less than 5% juice is what the label says.
Thursday, June 18th, this was a Ricky cruise. This took me quite some time.
We've worked with him before.
Yeah, and he does hard puzzles, man. And they're actually pretty cool. This was a traffic jam.
I got this one. I got this puzzle.
The theme, and
I've completed this one.
There was not nice because it was hard. There was a answer in the middle of the puzzle that represented a traffic jam, so you had to use the rebus function where you're putting in more letters into each box, and it was car in one box, van in another box, semi in another box, truck in another box, and bus in another box, and then those all worked with the down clues. So that was pretty cool, I thought. It took me a second to figure that out. That's what took so long. I was struggling in that middle box because I didn't.
I got that one, man.
Happened.
I got Thursday.
Nice, man. Nice. 34 across. Remember this! Exclamation point. That's the Alamo.
Yeah.
And of course, how can you forget the Alamo?
Don't make a rental car joke. Don't make a rental car joke.
I'm not.
Okay.
Of course, in 1982, the great Ozzy Osbourne on tour urinated on the Alamo and was arrested for that, which I don't think that's right, Greg. If you ask me, that thing stood up to a 13-day siege. Okay, and you're telling me it can't handle a little pee?
Well, based on what Ozzy was putting in his body back in the early 80s, it might have disintegrated the Alamo.
Yeah.
20 across, offering at a pier restaurant. Brendan, the answer is oyster.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm going to do sometime. I'd really like to do this. I want to build a restaurant right on the pier,
Yeah.
And I'm going to have a lot of I'm going to have some sort of nautical theme or something.
Sure.
It's going to have all anchors up there and fishing nets hanging down, everything.
Yeah, the whole deal.
And I am not going to serve seafood.
Oh, I love it. That would be my kind of restaurant because I love the vibe. I just don't like seafood.
You do though. You do. You told me I don't eat seafood. And we went to Bonefish Grill and you had like 5 things that were seafood and you liked them.
Yeah. I just think I just don't like salmon, I think. But yeah, I would.
That's true. That's the only thing you don't like. We found this out. You just don't like salmon.
Yeah.
There's other fish.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I did not know that. I don't like salmon and canned tuna fish, and I kind of thought that was the whole scheme. So turns out I am open to seafood. But yeah, I will dine at Greg's No Crab Shack.
Yeah.
6 across, start to come apart. That is fray. Now, I had a Patagonia jacket that started to fray along a seam, Greg, and I put a piece of electrical tape over it because of the black jacket. Another comic saw that and he goes, "Hey man, you should just get another jacket." And I go, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, Patagonia, they'll just give you another jacket. Like, they have a lifetime warranty. And I thought it was going to be a whole thing, And I go into the Patagonia store in New York, and I start, like, explaining, and the lady just cuts me off, and she goes, yeah, just go grab a jacket over there. And the whole thing took, like, 2 minutes. Like, no receipt, no questions asked, just gave me the exact same jacket on the spot. I gave them the other jacket. And it's kind of a good news, bad news situation, because, like, the good news is they just made a customer for life, with that kind of service. The bad news is the customer is just going to be returning the same jacket for the entirety of my life, because now I don't have to buy anything else.
Well, they're not. I mean, if it just gets old, they're not going to give you a new jacket.
That's what's amazing about it. Lifetime warranty, no matter what. You can just
don't abuse this policy.
No,
man.
you can just keep getting the same stuff. It's amazing. It's an amazing company. That's why I spent my.
I'm a big fan too,
Yeah.
but I just try to have some decency as well. But every now and then buy something from Patagonia.
No,
They can't sell everybody just one thing.
well, they can sell me just one thing, and they have.
Where do I want to go here? 67 across, Bulldogs home, Yale. Just doesn't sound like a mascot for Yale, does it?
No,
The
well,
Bulldogs?
no,
You can't be you can't be a Yaley and a Bulldog.
and Eli. Don't they go by the Elis?
Yeah, I think they do, but that's because Eli Yale or whatever founded
yeah,
it.
they call them the Elis. I think that's probably what happened. They tried to get the Bulldog name over, and the people competing against them go, "You guys are Elis. You're not Bulldogs. You're a bunch of Elis."
Yeah, I mean the Bulldogs. That's Fresno State or Georgia.
Georgia, yeah. You don't. I'd love to see Georgia play Yale and see who's a Bulldog
in anything. Yeah. Well, man, rowing. They might.
They might maybe lacrosse. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I think lacrosse. You could just get some of the Georgia football players to play, and they'd probably beat them.
Well, that's like Jim Brown. Jim Brown, the NFL great, was a lacrosse superstar, and they had to change the rules of lacrosse because of him. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I knew he was good at lacrosse.
He
All-American.
You didn't have to cradle. Cradling in lacrosse, how you just you kind of swipe your stick back and forth to hold the ball in it. That wasn't part of the rules, and Jim Brown would just take the lacrosse stick with the ball in it and put it against his chest and just run everyone over. Nobody could take it. They just hit him with sticks and he wouldn't care. He'd just run everyone over and score. And they were like, we got to do something about these rules because this is not good.
48 across, Bonehead. The answer is oaf, and that, Brendan, is the Bonefish Grill Hall of Fame word of the week.
Yeah,
Oaf comes up quite a bit.
Quite a bit.
And I have never used that term. I never call anybody an oaf. I just don't think to say it. And I want to ask you something, and it's pretty serious business. For someone to be called an oaf, I always thought they had to be big or fat. Is that true?
You often hear "you big oaf," like so
clumsy, right?
Yeah, I think an oaf. You don't get a little oaf.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you don't get a little oaf. That's just a oof.
So Little Rhodey, you could never call. If you called Little Rhodey an oaf, he would be pretty upset about that, right?
Hey, you calling me an oaf? I'm doing this job just like anyone else, man. Okay. Ronnie Van Zant hired me personally. You gonna call me an oaf? You're an oaf. Let's
call back to several episodes
ago. And if you didn't listen to that episode, you will have no clue what's going on. Let's go ahead and I'd say just skip over Friday entirely, where we're running with time-wise, unless there's anything particularly you wanted to say about it. It's a fine puzzle.
51 down, blank leches. That's Tres Leches. Have you ever had a Tres Leches cake, Brendan?
Yeah, they're delicious.
You know what what Tres Leches what that stands for?
Would it be 3 milks?
3 milks. You know what the 3 milks are?
What?
Condensed milk, evaporated milk,
Yeah.
and heavy cream. All 3 of those. Now, here's the trick, though. The evaporated milk, man, there's a lot of people that can get by with just 2 milks because they just don't put anything in there, and they're like, yeah, I put the evaporated milk in there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I actually.
I don't see it. I don't see the evaporated milk. Yeah, it's evaporated.
It's evaporated. I actually put evaporated milk in everything I eat. It's just not there. It's evaporated.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah, it's evaporated.
Yeah. The condensed makes up for the evaporated. That's what happens. Half the milk, the third of the milk evaporates, so you got to double that up by condensing it.
It's a very small amount of that condensed milk.
Yeah. Now, Saturday, June 20th. This was
probably didn't need to go back to that. Probably didn't need to do Friday at all for just that.
I think
joke.
we did. People didn't know about that. I think we absolutely did. Now, Saturday, June 20th, with Estella Zawatowski.
Actually, Brendan, I stand corrected. That was a Saturday joke.
Oh, that was? Great. Well, then we've done our duty. We skipped Friday entirely. 20 across, they have an itis named after them. That's seniors. Senioritis, that's where you get towards the end of your senior year, and you kind of stop working. You're used to you're about to graduate, so you kind of cut back on your effort. Greg, when I was in college, I had the itis every year. I had freshman-itis, sophomore-itis, I had GPA-itis, I had almost didn't graduate-itis, I had every itis you can get, man. I had itis the whole time.
That's what you've mentioned. Yeah, you weren't the most serious student, were you?
No, I was a very poor student. I was an excellent test taker. I was a good student in high school. I got a very high SAT score. I got into a wonderful college. I then was unsupervised and never went to class. So that was not a good time.
Yeah, but you straightened yourself out after that.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah. No, I got it together, and I mean, I learned some things. I think, who knows?
Yeah. You've learned quite a bit, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, it's you went 7 for 7.
Yeah. Yep.
I didn't really. I was wrestling most in college, so there's a lot of classes that I should have attended that I did not. But I think I took school a little more seriously than you, and I went 2 for 7 this week on the crossword. So.
Yeah, but you were an
really doesn't matter
all-American
what you
wrestler,
do.
So.
Doesn't matter what you do, man.
Yeah, that's a nihilist. This is a nihilist crossword podcast now. Doesn't matter what you do; it's all gonna be the same. One across, setting for the Golden Girls. That's Miami. Did you know this, Greg? B. Arthur was older than Estelle Getty.
No.
Yes. B. Arthur was a year older than her mother on the show.
Ma.
Yeah, she's a year old. That's a slap in the face for Estelle Getty when that casting call comes.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah,
That's not cool at all.
No, B. Arthur is a year older. Yeah.
She got that museum though in L.A.
What museum?
The Getty.
Yep. Yeah, she did get that museum. Man, we're pushing the limits on time. Let's you got anything to talk about on Saturday? You want to get right into Sunday?
I mean, I what are you talking about? Do I have anything to talk about on Saturday? I brought up that brilliant
Tres
Tres
leche.
leches
Yeah.
is a point. I thought that there was a clue 11 down. I don't really have a joke about it, but it was, I guess Lennon said paranoia is just a heightened sense of awareness.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that. Man.
You didn't know he said that, or you didn't know that's true?
Well, I didn't know either of them. Is that true?
It's definitely not true. It's what a paranoid person says.
Yeah. I guess he was sort of paranoid.
Not quite paranoid enough. Sunday.
Tasteless. Completely tasteless.
Sunday, June 21st. This
Did
was.
not learn your lesson from Meghan McCain?
Don't bring that up. They forgot about it already. Byron.
You just did it. You did it to yourself.
This was a Byron and Harrison Walden. I don't know if we've ever had a brother combo. Have we? I've never heard of such a thing.
I don't think so.
Yeah, the title of the puzzle was Animal
Let me tell you
Crossing.
this, man. If there's a Bill Eaton Salners, I'm quitting the podcast.
The theme was Animal Crossings. So you had like a clue such as 24 across. What you get when you cross 26 across with a 5 down. Now those two answers were elephants and fish. So what you get when you cross elephants with fish, the answer was swimming trunks. So pretty clever. He had about 4 of those in there. Kind of an interesting little theme. I
thought it was pretty cool. I mean, I honestly on this, I didn't get this puzzle, and I don't think I would have gotten it, but I kind of ran out of time because we're doing this a little earlier on Sunday, and I got about halfway through, and then I just ran out of time. But I don't think I would have got it. I got extra drumsticks on one of them, but
yeah, that was when you cross a squid with a chicken. Extra drumsticks. 46 cross, crispy with a K, blank. This is almost a Monday clue. I mean, that's obviously cream, Krispy Kreme donuts. Now, I don't want to be specific with anyone here, but Greg and I once worked with a comic who was a pretty large man, very, very large, very, very, very large. And he had an app on his phone that set off an alert whenever donuts.
oh yeah, man, that was that guy in Myrtle Beach.
Oh, you come on, Greg. You don't have to specify. It's embarrassing, but it set off an alert whenever donuts came out of the oven at the closest Krispy Kreme, and
That's right,
should
man.
be an illegal app because that guy did not need that app. That was a killer app. That is not appropriate to be allowing people to have that.
Yeah, I think the American Diabetes Association is lobbying Congress to get rid of that app.
Yeah, that is not a good app.
That guy wouldn't get mad if we called him out on this. He
He's aware that he is 400 pounds.
I don't think he was 400. Nobody said he was 400.
No.
He's aware that he likes donuts. I know that.
He was pushing 4, Greg.
You think he was 400?
I think so. Yeah.
You fashion yourself as like a weight guesser?
Yeah, I did a stint at the carnival for a while.
Okay,
I did a
All
stint.
right, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Um.
I want to talk about 113 big name in vitamins.
Mm-hmm.
That's GNC.
Yeah.
Brendan, how many times have you seen a crowded GNC?
Never.
Ever seen any more than 2 people in there?
No.
Me neither. And this may not be. This may be somebody else has made this point in the past, but how do they operate? Actually, I don't see anybody in any mall now. I mean, there's hardly any mall, and I'm not talking about post COVID, even pre COVID. The mall's never crowded anymore, is it?
No. I mean, I don't even really go in the mall anymore. But yeah,
Where do you meet chicks?
Just the arcade. I like to go to the arcade. I like to go to the pinball parlor.
In the mall. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Maybe GNC is mostly online now. I don't know. They're also, I mean, you have 2 people in there, but they are spending like $190 on supplements. So
Yeah.
big name in vitamins. I tried to fit Greg in, but it didn't work. For those of you that don't know, Greg is the most vitamin man I know. He's got every vitamin known to man. You are a healthy.
I see a holistic doctor. I've had some health issues in my adult life, and she prescribes a lot of supplements. Taking a probiotic now, Brendan. You ever taken one of those?
No, I haven't.
So this probiotic, it's pretty potent. It's got 500 billion with a B CFUs in one pill. That's colony forming units. 500 billion of something called Lactobacillus acidophilus. Now, Acidophilus, he was my landlord, my Greek landlord when I lived in New York, actually. And I got to tell you, Brendan, that guy was pretty shady. I hope he's not involved with these pills, because if he is, there's not 500 billion CFUs in there. I'm going to say there's probably 7. Yeah, I don't know. Give it or take.
Oh, man. That's rough. You got your landlord living inside of you now. That's it's not good. 103 across. Napoleonic symbol. That's a honeybee. Now, did you know this, Greg? The whole idea of the Napoleon complex is bogus, right? This idea that a small man wants to seize power to make up for his lack of height. Napoleon was 5 feet 7 inches tall. That was above average height for a European at his time. So Napoleon was not short at all. And this man, who was perhaps the greatest military strategist of all time, is just remembered for being short and angry about it.
I'll tell you a guy I know who has a Napoleon complex. Little Rhodey. I mean, that guy.
Hey, you call me Napoleon complex? I in my heart, I'm just as tall as any of you guys. I'm 6'8" in my heart, man.
Did you know anything about that honeybee, Brendan?
I remember it being like a French symbol. I didn't know much about it. No.
They're saying he was fascinated with bees. I guess he wasn't. What do you call him, apiary, or he didn't raise
Keep them,
bees, but he loved bees. But some people say there's a few different theories on where this came from. But one of them is when he took over for France. He did not want to spend any money on decoration. And the former regime had fleur-de-lis all over the place.
Right.
They had, the fleur-de-lis. And he just hung everything upside down. And when you do that, it looks like a bee.
Smart move. See, that's no Napoleon complex. That's a genius right there. The old flip flop on the logo. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I think that's going to do it for one down this week. I, of course, am Brendan Eyre. I'm with Greg Warren. Greg has a special coming out that is absolutely fantastic. Greg, could you give us some details on that? I've seen it. It's amazing. Could you give us some details on that, please?
Thanks, buddy. I have a comedy special called Where the Field Corn Grows, and it's going to debut June 30th on Amazon and Amazon Prime and several other places, Vudu, Xbox, but the ones that I'm most familiar with are Amazon and Amazon Prime. I believe if you have Amazon Prime, it's streaming, it's free. So I would love it if you guys checked it out.
Yeah, so check that out. And here's the thing with these kind of specials, it's really great. It's really great. I'm not just saying that. What goes a long way. Check it out, but also take the link or take the screenshot, whatever it is, and share it. Post it on your Instagram, post it on your Twitter, get it out there on your Facebook. Tell people to watch it because it's really great. It's really something worth watching. There's a lot of comedy out there that that we're flooded with comedy these days, and it's not every it's not every special that's phenomenal. So I really share this one if you can. But that's been one down for the week. Thank you guys for tuning in. Rate, review, subscribe to the podcast, and me and Old Tuesday Greg will be back next week.
One Down is hosted by Greg Warren and Brendan Eyre, produced and edited by John Baldwin. Our theme song is written and performed by Henry Phillips. Executive producers Matt Kleinschmidt and Robert Kelly for the Laugh Button Podcast.
One Down, the Comedy Crossword Podcast.